How the pyramids in Egypt were built? This is a question which is still unanswered and is the main puzzle for the researcher scientists who are studying the wonders of the world. Despite the archaeological work carried out, documental sources that would give answer to scientists as to how and using what kind of mechanisms and means these wandering constructions were built have not yet been discovered. The wealth of hypotheses and pyramids have found existence among science circles. The Greek historian Herodotus, who visited Egypt in 450 BC, wrote that Egyptians had a certain device available for lifting up huge and massive stones, but oddly enough, scientists have not found any evidence of the existence of such lifting devices. However, based on this only surviving written document of Herodotus, some scientists have suggested that the construction of the pyramids was carried out using swinging mechanisms. First, the first level was assembled, then the second level, using the swinging mechanisms and so forth. However, how many or what size swinging mechanisms were used still remains unclear. In addition, the size and mass of some stone blocks suggests that it was impossible to lift them up to their height by use of such swinging mechanisms, and at the same time to achieve the geometric shapes that are key features of the uniqueness of these pyramids. According to the archaeologist Yanis Gourdon, the Egyptians used a movable system to build the pyramids. This system was composed of a central ramp flanked by two staircases with numerous post holes. These holes may have been held by sturdy wooden posts. The stone blocks were probably placed onto wooden sleds and were transported by a system of ropes wrapped around the poles, and there are many different hypotheses. Represented below is a possible algorithm for constructing the Egyptian pyramids, namely the Great Pyramid of Khufu, which has been developed by Colonel retired Goga Gvaratskhelia, head of the Georgian Technical University (GTU) Science and Research Center of High Precision Mechatronic Technologies, author of many inventions and scientific works, honorary doctor of GTU. Goga Gvaratskhelia not only developed a technology with corresponding diagrams and theory for placing stone boulders and raising them to a height, but also made and presented a breadboard construction and a practical mechanism for implementing this technology. The uniqueness of the technology and of the mechanism of Mr. Gvaratskhelia lies in the fact that before the formation of the steps of the pyramid, the builders probably formed a scaffolding system using wooden material. The mentioned system had several pairs of inclined ramps. Each of the pairs of the ramps were sloped at opposite angles, one of which was intended for moving a stone block from the surface of the earth to the first step of the pyramid to the inside, and the another one was intended for moving it at the height from the first step of the pyramid in the outer direction. The pairs of ramps may have been made in the form of footpaces and reinforced with wooden bearing bars. Some pathways were formed from the ramps intended for moving at the height toward the pyramid that had to be built. The paths, like the ramps, were made in the form of footpaces and were reinforced with wooden bearing bars. The number of the pathways corresponded to the number of steps in a pyramid that had to be built. Besides, the length of each subsequent pathway in the direction of the height was greater than that of the previous one, and such a structural combination of the formed a pyramid-shaped imaginary space in the central part of the scaffolding system. We can say that the design principle of construction, technology and mechanisms developed by Mr. Gvaratskhelia are the most realistic and effective for today among the constructions imagined on the basis of hypotheses and ideas only. After years of studying all the possible methods of building the pyramids, he believes that the pyramid was not built by an architect or a civil engineer who was famous at the time, but the principle of building a pyramid is a geometric pattern of a non-standard fractal, and the center of gravity of the building and the sophisticated formula of the distribution of the strength forces is a fantastic result of pure mathematical calculations. In connection with the hypothesis of Gvaratskhelia, a number of meetings were held with a group of professors of the Department of Mathematics of the Georgian Technical University, who expressed their opinions and supported the idea. Here are the views and recommendations of Georgian scientists with this regard.